Are you feeling lost? Well, you've come to the right place.
Welcome to Lostish, where we,
Rose Chachko
and Emanuela Kathaptakis,
share what it's really like navigating your 20s.
we're two semi-lost girls figuring out careers, relationships, wellness, purpose, and everything in between.
Each week, we dive into the highs, the lows, and lessons of chasing your dreams, finding happiness, and learning to embrace the uncertainty.
We're not here to pretend like we've got it all together.
We're simply just figuring it out with you.
We're back!
We're back, everyone. Welcome back to the
another-
Lost. Okay, we're going to do that again.
Lostish Podcast.
We have another episode. Ooh.
So this one is a little bit more of a chiller episode.
Yes.
I kept rambling my words, so this is like our 5th time filming this introduction.
Yeah.
But pretty much this episode will relate to everyone because you're either in one of two situations. You're currently living out of home or living at the home you grew up in. So this episode is about, obviously in your 20s, it's like that time of your life where it's like, should I move out or should I stay in? So that's literally what this episode is. It's like our opinions and our takes and our experiences. Well, not that we have much experience, but yeah, on whether moving out of home or staying in is, you know, helping people. It's not even what you should do. It's more about just a talking episode.
Yeah, and which one is more applicable to you? It's like for a lot of people, staying at home is the best option right now, whether it's financially or...
And we'll break down all of those parts. So let's just get straight into it.
Let's do it.
We'll start off by saying both me and Rose still live at home.
Yeah.
We do have different opinions though. So I think it'll help with this episode because Rose is like ready to move out.
I'm like really excited to move
stay
out.
at home.
But not saying that I don't like living at home because I do, and like I love my parents and my cat and my space, but I feel like, you know, when you reach that point where you're just like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to be independent, take that next step, have more responsibility, because when you're living at home, I feel like, I mean, it's definitely on a situational basis, but...
Oh, yeah, but from us growing up in European households.
Yeah, like our parents
we get
kind of...
princess
treatment.
Literally.
Yeah, like it's really lovely. And home-cooked meals and everything. Anyway, it's really nice. But... yeah, I'm kind of on that mindset now of like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to kind of take that leap, be independent, have responsibilities that come with living out of home, because it's very different to living at home, and we both have very kind of similar living situations in the sense of like, you know,
I think
like
the
you
only
said,
difference is that you're an only child and
True.
I have ravenous brothers.
Yes, very true.
But yeah, so let's sort of break it down. So let's break down the pros and cons first of all.
Pros and cons.
So for us, we'll start with our personal experience living at home. Obviously, people are in each other's space all the time. And you know what? I think that also applies if you have roommates as well.
Yeah.
And living out of the house you grew up in. But we're talking about, you know, a stable household situation. People are still going to be on top of each other 24/7. And I think that's one thing that drives people out pretty early, is because you get to that stage, you know, past the age of 18, 19, 20, where it's like, even younger sometimes, where it's like, oh, I've had enough. Like, I don't need these stresses and, you know, this and that. But where it gets to that point where people just want to let go of those stresses and figure it out on their own. But sometimes it just adds more stress.
To what?
Move out.
To move out. Because then you've got financial strains and you like don't have enough time to do your grocery shopping, and you come home to no food, or like the laundry, you have no clothes, or whatever it may be. But
and you know what? I think I used to definitely take staying at home for granted. I was actually planning when I, you know, moved to Sydney that I was going to stay at university accommodation, and it was like, fine, I'd visit my home because I obviously love my whole family, and it would be fine. And then when I realized how much rent I'd be paying, all the responsibilities I've had, not that I'm not ready for that or think I could do that, but I think I definitely took my home life for granted.
Yeah.
Because like you said, now I come home to home cooked meals. I literally, it might sound so entitled, but it's just something like laundry is just something that I don't even think about.
Yeah, same, low key.
Yeah.
High key.
Yeah. So, and I think it's definitely not something I take for granted anymore. But just take that stuff into consideration if you're someone that's thinking about, you know, being in a hurry to move out. If you're ready to do it and you're ready to do all of that, some people get excited at the thought of being able to organize their own house and spend
That's
a day
me.
cleaning.
I'm so excited about
too,
that.
And I'm ready, but I can wait.
Yeah, yes. Okay, but this is not discarding those who have difficult living situations at home.
Which is why I said a stable living situation.
Yeah, if you have an unstable living situation, you're like, obviously I need to get out of home for X and Y reason.
I think we should preface by saying this is for people that are in, like, it could be for anyone. You could find, you know, peace in this episode no matter who you are, but I think it's mainly for people like us who have decent, like, great home living situations but just want that independence at some point.
And who are like trying to figure out whether it's the right move now or later. Like, I think, and this is like, we have these conversations a lot, you and I, and you always say to me, you're like, look, I get why you want to move out, but save your money. And it's interesting because a lot of people are like, stay at home as much as you can. And 100%. I'm like, but I'm ready to move out. And all of my friends, like my whole circle is living out of home, living with mates.
And I think that also, because see, I'm the opposite. I'm in a situation where majority of my friends are actually living at home and in their early to mid 20s, like up to the age of 25, 26, even 27, they're still living at home. I mean, God, I'm living in my grandparents' house. My parents are 50 years old and still living at home.
Yeah, but that's a very cultural.
We're not moving, you guys. Yeah, like we love it there, but it's also like we're building a place at the moment. But it just goes to show, like, age isn't the biggest factor in this. As we spoke about in our third episode, you do end up becoming like or adopting the beliefs and behaviors of people that you spend the most time around.
Yeah, inevitably.
So I think for someone like me, where I've never really cared what people thought in regards to things like this, but I think it does make a difference when, for example, someone like I think you're naturally a very independent person. We both are. And to, you know, have that environment where your 10, 15 closest friends or acquaintances in general are all living out of home and all, you know, you're seeing all these benefits and stuff from the outside of it. It can be hard to sit back and say, well, why am I not doing the same thing?
Well, that's exactly the position I'm in.
Whereas for me, I'm seeing the opposite. I'm seeing friends now that are buying homes and I'm like, well, actually, I'd love that. Like, I'm ready to move out when I can afford something, but I don't want to sit there and be paying someone else's rent my whole life.
Yeah.
So that's where my standpoint, and I'm lucky that I've got a very good living situation and, you know, my parents thankfully don't ask me to pay rent or, you know, because that's a situation too that a lot of people go through.
I'm so, and you know what? It's like so surprising to me that's the case in a lot of like their parents ask their children to pay rent. And it's like
a very common thing. And it's like, yeah, exactly. We're not used to it, but it happens. So I'm very grateful for that situation. But I think it definitely also comes down to like seeing what other people around you are doing and feeling like you have to rush to get there as well.
Yeah. And I think that's how I feel is like, I'm like, everyone's moved out. I'm still at home.
But you know
what's going on?
There's so much you have to take into consideration because independence is great. Independence is really great. And everyone, you know, should be independent at some point. Even if it's not moving out. It could be going on holiday. It could be, you know, finding a job on your own. I mean, I'll give you another simple example. Your dad does your taxes for you.
My dad does do my taxes for me.
You're going to learn to do them yourself no matter what.
Which is good because like...
So I'm still getting...
But my dad is also an accountant.
Well,
so.
we preface that. That's so true.
So I mean...
No, but... Yeah, like I think there's a lot more that people need to consider than just, I'm going to have my own space. Guys, there is a lot to consider when you move out. You have to make time. Do you know how many people I know have moved out but they're living on packet noodles? Yeah. Sorry, I also choose to prioritize my health, for example. So you're going to have to account for your groceries. You're going to have to account for all the little bills that you don't even think about.
Yeah.
Like, yes, there are, I don't know how it works in other countries, but in Australia, you've got a quarterly water water, gas, electricity, all of that
then
sort of
Wi-Fi
stuff.
and stuff
the
too.
Wi-Fi. I don't even realize that, like, it honestly, it crosses people's minds that live at home that these are stuff that you need to pay for all the time. And then if you have a car, it's dealing with all of that. And then making time to keep that space clean for yourself and making time to still spend time with your friends and making time to, like, so many people I've spoken to is like, what are you doing this weekend? I'm cleaning my house. I'm like, wow, I don't even think about that stuff. I clean my room and that's about it.
Yeah.
And I really, before used to really take it for granted. Now that I'm speaking the words out loud, I'm like, holy, I've got it so lucky.
Yeah.
So I think we're speaking a lot about, look, we should speak about the positives of moving out as well. Obviously,
of course, there's heaps of positives. Heaps of positives.
You do end up becoming very responsible
and very
quickly
self-sufficient
because you're forced to.
Yeah.
No one's going to sit there and baby you for it.
You learn, like, a lot of my friends, actually one of my besties, Sophia Peddington, shout out to you, is such a good cook. And she said to me, I remember when she was like, you know what, like moving out has forced me to teach myself how to cook because
so simple.
When you're at home, like, to be honest, like our families have incredible food and literally. They cook so well, and our grandparents and like, and we don't really have to think about cooking because we come home from work and the meal's already ready, which is such a blessing to have that.
It's a blessing. But then moving out forces you to learn that stuff yourself. Staying in forces you to spend time doing other things. Yeah. And
saving your money.
100%
budgeting, saving your money for the future.
Honestly,
even for holidays, because you actually made a really good point to me, is like, you were like, okay, yes, you're living at home, you're saving your money, although you want to move out, but you can travel. Like, one of the most important things to me is traveling, and 100%. You. And we can have the space to do that now, since we're not having to worry about paying rent every week and covering those bills and those, expenses.
Yeah.
It's really helpful. And it's actually really interesting as well. I've got so much in my brain that I just want to say.
Yeah.
So we might be talking really fast here, but all of my friends who are living out of home, who have like stayed over at my place or come to my place, they're like, oh, dude, like your place is so cozy and it feels so family orientated, and like the meals are already ready and your laundry's ready, and like, it's
you know what, I think we'd say the same thing if we moved out. You'd miss it.
You would miss it.
So don't try and rush is our point.
Yeah.
If you're just trying to rush because either you feel rushed by the people you're surrounded with, it might not even be that you feel judged. It might just be that you see it and you're like, wow, I'd love to have anyone over whenever, or I'd love to stay up till whatever time and not have to worry about being noisy,
or I'd love to not have my parents on my ass 24/7,
to make my bed.
Yeah.
It could be something like that, but you know what, there's a blessing in both.
Yeah.
So we're just here to lay out the pros and cons for you guys, for you to actually sit here and think about it. But I think from our perspective, because we're people that both live at home, it's more like there's not, other than the bills and the responsibility you have, there isn't much wrong with moving out.
No.
So
moving out is so
making
formative.
You feel comfortable and comforted and appreciate what you have now, and re-emphasize that there's no need to rush that. You'll get there eventually. Trust me, no one wants to be living with their parents past the age of 30, if anything. So you'll get there in the end. But there's a lot of blessings that you might be taking for granted in, behind the scenes. Yeah. If you're in a good, healthy living situation, sure, you'll scream and shout and have your arguments, and that's normal human nature with parents, siblings, literally.
Yeah.
And my brother's the type that'll literally come in, punch me, flex in the mirror, walk out, and I just have to put up with it. Yeah. My mum will come in at 7 a.m. and ask me, like, what do you want for lunch? I'm making lunch and I've barely just opened my eyes. And I'm like, calm, Emanuela, be calm. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Or like, my dad will help me whenever I need help. Like, there's a lot of good if you choose to see the good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely don't rush. And there's a lot more to think about. Than just having your own space. You will have your own space, especially if you have your own bedroom in a house. Make that your comfort space, and don't feel like you have to rush if you're in a good situation just because everyone else around you is doing that.
Yeah. And there's a lot of, as we said, a lot of perks for both. Yeah. And look, I don't know when I'm going to be moving out. Also, if you're going to move out, you want to make sure you're going to move out with good people.
Oh,
and
my goodness,
because moving out can also ruin some friendships.
Yeah, or alone. But I mean, in this day and age, pretty hard.
I don't think, but you know what? Nobody that I know lives alone. Everyone is either living with friends, flatmates, housemates, siblings, whatever it is, you know? So
I would find more comfort in anyway. I'd hate to go home and have no one but myself. Some people
like that. Yeah, some people like that. But I think we're the type of people that if we are going to move out, it's going to be with people that you know
would be good.
Yeah.
I reckon we'd be great housemates.
I reckon we'd be phenomenal housemates.
But this is the thing, guys. We've prioritized traveling together, putting money into our podcast together.
Yeah.
See, there's pros. There's blessings in disguise.
Yeah, there really is. There really is. And I think, look, there's actually not much else to say.
No,
I think we've really covered all the talking points about that. And
I think very soon we do want to start some Q&A sessions as well, where you guys can ask us questions literally about anything. I mean, right now we've spoken about everything from friendship, breakups, relationships, staying in or moving out,
tall poppy syndrome.
Get to know us.
Yeah, like we definitely are going to please, like, if you already have any questions, start sending them to us.
If we get enough questions, we'll honestly make an episode for it. I feel like we'd love that.
Yeah, we'd absolutely love that. Let's wrap it up.
We love you guys, and we'll see you in the next episode
of the Lostish Podcast.